slip the edge stitch and knit 16 stitches, knit 16 stitches with blue thread of yarn. 16 stitches. Then take the additional knitting needle and knit 8 stitches using the additional knitting needle. 3, 4, 5, including white color stitches. 5, 6, 7, 8. We have just knitted 8 stitches onto the additional knitting needle. We have cut off the white thread before. Then make one knit. It is the 9th stitch. We make one knit. So we have 16 stitches here plus one edged. Here we have 9 stitches on the additional knitting needle, and here we have 16 stitches plus one edged. And these 9 stitches we're going to knit on the additional knitting needle. It is the turn of our booty. Now we are going to knit 15 rows. This is the first row, and now we are knitting the second row by garter stitch. We knit all the stitches in all the rows by garter stitch. Turn the work, slip the edge stitch and knit the third row by garter stitch. We knit all the stitches this way, 15 rows. We knit 15 rows by garter stitch using the blue thread of yarn. We have just knitted 15 rows by garter stitch using the blue thread of yarn. By garter stitch. Then we cut off the blue thread and attach the white thread. And now we are going 10 rows more by garter stitch using the white thread of yarn. We knit all the stitches per the last edge stitch. We have just knitted 10 rows by garter stitch with white thread of yarn, and so let's do the 11th row. Knit 2 stitches together, then knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, knit 5, and the last 2 stitches together we knit them 2 together. We knit them 2 together. Further, turn the work and bind off the remaining stitches. Slip the edge stitch, then knit one, then pass the slip stitch over the knit stitch. Again, knit one and pass the previous stitch over the knitted stitch. Again, knit one and pass the previous stitch over the knit stitch. Knit one, pass the previous stitch over the knitted stitch. Knit one, pass the slip stitch, the knitted stitch over the knitted stitch. Knit one, pass the previous stitch over the knitted stitch. So we have just bound off the stitches, cut off the thread of yarn and tighten up. And then this edge of the thread, we hide it by crocheting using the crochet hook this way. And cut off this part. Here we have the ton of our booty. Further, we are going to work the sides. This blue thread, we are going to use it. We are going to work the side using this blue thread of yarn. We are going to knit 4 rows by garter stitch. Knit 4 rows by garter stitch. Slip the edge stitch and knit all the stitches by garter stitch. 4 rows. We have just knitted 4 rows by garter stitch. Further, we are going to decrease the number of stitches. Slip the edge stitch, then slip the next stitch also onto the right needle, then knit one, and then pass the previous slip stitch over the knitted stitch. And knit the rest of the stitches. Till the end of the row. Turn the work and continue knitting all the stitches, the following 3 rows by garter stitch. We have just knitted by garter stitch, decrease 1 stitch again, slip the edge stitch, slip the next stitch, then knit 1 and pass the slip stitch over the knit stitch. Knit the stitches till the end of the row. And purl the last edge stitch. This is a slanting, you can see here. Then knit 3 more rows by garter stitch. Having knitted by garter stitch, now we bind off the stitches by knitting two stitches together. We have just knitted two stitches together, then knit the stitches till the end of the row.